Hey guys, today I wanted to go over Tracer's advanced aim mechanics and my strategy approaching them. By the end of this video, you should know the mechanics most Grandmaster and top 500 players use when playing Tracer. Let's get right into it. The first topic that I wanted to cover was Strafe Aiming. Strafe Aiming is an important mechanic to understand because it's one of the fundamental steps to aiming. A lot of times when aiming and shooting, there's no need to move your mouse. If you already have your crosshair on the target, you can use your movement keys to match the enemy's movement and land all of your shots. A great example is a McCree dueling you and he's strafing side to side. Instead of wasting all your blinks and attempting to aim with your mouse, you can keep your crosshair centered and match his strafe, landing more shots than you would attempting to precisely aim on his body. The best way is to practice this against moving bots in the practice range, then move on to actual players in quick play or competitive. If you can master this one mechanic, your aim is already improved significantly. The next topic that I wanted to go over was crouch aiming. Crouch aiming is an important aspect to focus on because it slows your strafe down and allows you to aim more precisely. In the practice range, a custom game, or really any game mode, try holding crouch while you aim to get a more realistic interpretation about what I'm saying. When you duel small heroes such as Baby Diva, an opposing Tracer, Anna, or a Moira, try holding crouch when aiming, and it can give you the upper edge that just might save your life. While it might feel weird holding crouch at first, practicing this mechanic in a custom game or against bots in the practice range will prove beneficial over time. Adding on to this last technique, another important mechanic to learn is crouch spamming. Crouch spamming makes your character model move erratic and gives you an advantage when in a 1v1 situation or when stalling a point. This erratic movement makes your character extremely difficult to hit and allows you more time to deal damage or generate another blink if they're all on cooldown. While this mechanic makes you harder to hit, the only downside is that it also makes it harder for you to aim precisely. The best way to practice this is in a custom game against bots or in the practice range to get accustomed to the wonky movement. A lot of times when dueling a target, you tend to run out of ammo right when the target is 1 HP. The best way to deal with this while avoiding the reload time is to blink melee to finish the target off. Another great use is to blink in and out of the target in melee and return to your normal position while still dealing damage from your weapon. The key with Tracer is to be unpredictable and deal as much damage as possible in the shortest duration possible. By using your movement strategically, you can use your melee to finish off low HP targets and deal extra damage in clutch situations. The best way to practice this mechanic is to first note that Tracer's blink is roughly 10 meters. You can use this to your advantage by staying at this distance when aiming so that you can quickly blink in and deal that final blow to your target. To first get accustomed to this mechanic, the best way to practice is to go into the practice range and practice against the moving bots. When you feel like you've learned the movement, you can take this to quick play or competitive. A big problem that a lot of players face is that they focus so much on their crosshair, they can't aim precisely at their target. No HUD is a simple yet extremely efficient way to get better at aiming with Tracer. By removing your HUD, you can practice by focusing on the actual target rather than focusing solely on your crosshair. It may seem wonky at first, but over time your focus will rely less on the crosshair and more on the actual target you're shooting. By the time you master the mechanic, the crosshair is just an added bonus to your improved aim. Now we move on to actual training techniques with Tracer. A great way to get better at aiming and movement with Tracer is to go into a custom game and set up bots that have a 500% cooldown on abilities and deal minimal damage and receive minimal healing. It is also important to turn Tracer's health up to 500% so you get the most value for your time. To practice movement, you can turn Tracer's blink cooldown time to 0%. Feel free to also turn her ultimate ability cooldown to 0% as well if you plan to practice her pulse bombs. Inside this game mode, practice blinking back and forth between a target with the intent to confuse them and focus on landing every bullet in your clip. By doing this, you'll slowly feel yourself getting better at aiming with Tracer and learning the movement styles that work against each hero. To get the most out of this preset, you can change settings such as an ability cooldown for the bots to learn how to dodge specific abilities such as Roadhog's Hook or Anna's Sleep Dart. You can also reset Tracer's blink cooldown to normal so you can get better at blink management. If you think you have honed your aiming skills but want to improve them further, a great way to practice is by 1v1ing a Lucio bot that has increased speed. Go into a custom game and set up a single Lucio bot that has 125% movement speed. Also make sure to turn his damage down to 10%, increase his health to 500%, and disable his sound wave. Inside this custom game, focus on precisely aiming at the bot and killing him over time. While it can be frustrating at first, over time you'll begin to kill him faster and faster. It is also important to note that in an actual game his movement will be much slower and will be much easier to kill him. If you can master this technique, you can kill just about any hero extremely fast. Today we covered my thoughts on how to approach mastering Tracer's aim mechanics. To further improve your aim with the tips I gave you, try combining multiple mechanics together to heighten your skill. Most of these drills can be directly used with each other to outplay your opponents on the ladder. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please leave a like or comment so I know my time was worth it. See you next time.